Hey Coin Fam, I was online the other day and somebody close by to me posted that they had 3,000 wheat pennies for sale. I asked him how much he wanted for all of them and he gave me a good price and he labeled them in bags for me. Bag number one, I don't know if you can see it. It says mostly 40s and 50s. The other three more bags, say 500 teens to 50s. These I'm really excited about because I don't have a whole lot of teens and 330s in my collection yet. But we're going to do one bag at a time. And I figured I'm going to start with the 40s and 50s. I'll dip you back in if I see anything of interest. But I've already gone through two of these bags just to see what they were like. And there was a ton of San Francisco mints. And I'm really looking forward to those because I live on the East Coast and we don't see a whole lot of San Francisco over on this side. All right, I'll loop you back in if I find anything interesting. Oh, I almost forgot. I wanted to share with y'all a while back, I inherited my grandfather's coin collection, and after I combined his and mine together, he had this book. This is the 1941 through about 1965. It's an older book, so it stops, right there. So this book was actually from the 60s. It was so old it actually they pre-printed it. It actually had a 1964D written in here, which never existed. It doesn't exist now. So I just scratched that off. But after I combined this book with my own, the only one I was missing was a 1955S right here. See if you can see it. And I went online and talked to one of my favorite YouTube channel guys, Rob Finds Treasure, and asked him how he'd go about finding one of those quickly because I wanted to fill this book up for him, for my grandfather. After a couple of emails, we managed to come to an arrangement in which he had some extras laying around. So he wound up sending me one. So now I have, his book is completely full, which is amazing. I showed my dad this as well. He was also very happy. And since then I've been doing a lot of hunting and a lot of collecting as well. And I've got my book here. Now this one I'm trying to fill on my own. I don't need help because the hunt is the fun part. But, so I have my book here. It's a much newer book, so of course it goes down to 74S. But I have all of them filled. I actually found the 1955S just yesterday. So I now have two of those filled in my collection. That's probably the hardest one to find in this book, but it's not all that difficult, honestly. With only 44.5 million minted. Some of the others, 330 million, almost 100 million, of even the year before San Francisco mint. But for some strange reason, I still have one hole. I've searched through hundreds and hundreds of wheat pennies, and I still have a 1948S missing with 81.7 million, minted. When I first went through this, started going through these bags, I was missing the 49S at 64 million, the 55S at 44 million, and this 48S at 81 million. Yet, for some reason, I found the other two, but for some reason, the 48S is still eluding me. So, hopefully, in this one bag, we'll find that one, and I'll loop you in if I do. Hey guys, I'm bringing you back in. Right now, I'm currently trying to sort them by decade. I got 40s here, 50s there. I found two 1936s, which kind of got me a little excited because this bag is supposed to be all 40s and 50s. But I loop you in because of this guy right here. I never expected to find this one. Let me put it on my scope for you. 1917 teens wheat penny. Not necessarily a rare one. It's a Philadelphia minted, but still, in a bag of 40s and 50s, finding one from the teens is actually a pretty good find, I think. All right, I'll loop you back in if I find anything else. All right, guys, I'm bringing you back in, and all I can say is man down. I think somebody really didn't like the date on this coin, but looking at it closely, to me, I'm seeing a 1917D. This looks like a 1 to me here. And since this one here, it's also straight, but it's kind of angling away, and looks like it comes over. I'm thinking this is a 1917 Denver, which I actually do not have in my collection, but I'm kind of torn about putting this in my collection because it's so damaged. I can't be 100% certain that it's a 1917. Tell me what you think in the comments below. I'll be looking forward to reading those. All right, looping you back in. The next one I picked up after that 1917 was actually a 1919. Another good find, looking through bags of all 40s and 50s. So, Just wanted to bring that one, show it to you. Back to the hunt. All right, guys, I got another find for you. See if I get the camera to play right with me. It's like a 1928, pretty rough shape. But again, this bag is supposed to be all 40s and 50s, so 1928, still a pretty good find, I think. Okay, guys, I have them also ordered now. I had 235 from the 50s, 257 from the 40s, including these here. I had 5 from the 30s, 1 from the 20s, and 3 from the teens. Again, not too shabby for a quick sorting of all 40s and 50s wheat pennies. So definitely had some good finds there to start off with. Now let's get into some details and see what we can turn out. Alright guys, I've only got about 75 or so left to sort through. Got kind of excited here. Everything in this top row here is all Philadelphia mints. These 2 rows are all Denver mints, and then these 3 rows are all San Francisco mints. Which, like I said, I got a lot of San Francisco mints, which is really exciting for me because I don't see a whole lot on this of those very often. But I brought you in because I wasn't really checking for varieties, but when you see something that looks a little odd, I kind of, look it up and see. I don't know a whole lot about varieties, but I'm looking to get a whole lot better. But what I found was, on a 1953 Denver, look at the mint mark. And of course, my first instinct was, it's a double die, but no, it's actually an RPM, a repunched mint mark. I did look it up. It's the RPM FS501. And this one, there's 5 different stages. This one is a stage E. You can tell because on the other stages, there is a die crack coming off the W in wheat. This one doesn't have one, which means it's going to be a stage E. I wish I could pull a picture for you, but I don't have my computer available right now. And I'm using my phone to film this. Maybe I'll try to squeeze in a picture of it from Variety Vista if I can. Alright, back to the hunt. Okay guys, I went ahead and pulled up Variety Vista. I got the RPM list up and pulled up the 1953 Denver. This is us right here. Like I said, there's 5 stages, A through E. And I went through all of them. There's all kinds of different die markers and things that look like I can tell you where it's at. A lot of die scratches and whatnot. For example, here on stage C, there's a die scratch coming off the O and God. But ours is definitely the stage E. It's definitely looks a whole lot. The RPM definitely looks the same here and here. There's a very faint die scratch, or to no die scratches here, which we don't have. There's also die scratches on the reverse that are worn away. But that's also a matchup for ours as well. So I just want to check with you. It's definitely a 53 Denver stage E. Alright, back to the hunt. Okay guys, I've got all the 50s sorted out. Surprisingly, along this top row here, I got 1950s, 51s. I had no 52 from Philadelphia. The 53s, no 54s, no 55s, then 56, 57, 58. That's very, very few Philadelphias, especially for this area. In the Denvers, however, I got 2 stacks from the 50s, 2 from the 40, 2 from the 51, 2 from 52, a couple of Denvers from 53, small stack from 54. I had 1 1955 Denver, then 56s, 57s, and a remarkably few 58s. Usually I see a whole bunch of those. But now what I'm really excited about is the San Francisco mints. These are 1950 San Franciscos. I have 20 of those. These are 1951s. I have 41. And 1952 S's. I have 12. Again, we don't see these on the East Coast a whole lot, so to have this many in one bag out of 500, that's a lot. Okay, I went ahead and flipped up that RPM, stands for repunched mint mark. And then I pulled out 3 nice examples. I got a 1956 Philadelphia with a lot of the mint luster left, a 1957, and a 1958. I don't see them a whole lot in this condition, so I usually hold on to them. I'm going to check these against my album, but I don't think they're actually going to upgrade. Alright guys, we are back. I have sorted through all the 40s pennies. No real finds really stood out to me. But again, I do like my San Francisco mints. I did wind up with the 1941 S. I had 8 of those. 2 from 1942, 14 from 1944, 23 from 1945, 25 from 1946, 13 from 1947. Still missing my 1948s, so I still have that whole in my collection, but I still have 1,500 more pennies to search through, so I'm still optimistic we'll find that one. And I had 20 from 1949. The best find from that hunt is still going to be that 1953 RPM. Always a good find there. And as always, happy hunting. Thanks for watching. If you have any suggestions or comments, please leave them below. Also, feel free to like and subscribe.